In example 1, we are going to solve x minus 5 equals negative 1. When you solve an equation, you need to do the opposite. What we are basically doing is trying to get the variable by itself. In order to do that, you do the inverse operation. So I've got a negative 5 here, and I want to undo it so I get x by itself. So basically, if I add 5 to each side of the equation, that would take that away, leaving me with just x, and a negative 1 plus 5 is 4. So x is 4. You can always double check by plugging it back in. So you take your 4, plug it in here, and you have 4 minus 5 equals negative 1. And negative 1 equals negative 1. That is a correct solution, so you know that x is 4. In this one, we're just using fractions, so don't get freaked out. But how do I get rid of adding 3 halves? Well, the inverse operation of adding is subtracting. So we're going to subtract 3 halves on both sides. Because it's common denominators, it just cancels out. I'm going to get a z over here. And 1 half minus 3 halves is going to be a negative 1. Because it's going to be 1 half minus 3 halves. 1 minus 3 is negative 2 over 2. Negative 2 over 2 is reduced to negative 1. So then the solution is going to be negative 1, but we got to plug her back in and check it out. So we put a negative 1 in here plus 3 halves. So 1 is the same as negative 2 over 2. So negative 2 plus 3 is negative 1. Negative 1 plus 1.5 is 1.5 is a half, which is a half. So that does work. So again, you can use your calculator to check it if you're not sure of the math of it. But negative 1 plus 3 halves does equal 1 half. So if you understand this one, I think you'll be able to try some on your own.